Okay, I did get asked the question in one of the previous videos. Are you going to defeat Robotnik in the Labyrinth Zone in your run? Short answer,
No!
Long answer is
No!
and you'll see why at the end of the video. So, we're just going to get through Labyrinth Zone, and then I'll do a separate recording. Welcome back to Sonic 1, and who thought this was a good idea? Well, time to go save our baby brother yet again, because for some reason David Bowie likes babies. Who knew? He was just there in the crotch of bulgeness that is David Bowie's costume. This is the Labyrinth Zone, a zone somewhat dreaded by the Sonic community due to just everything about it. When you convince yourself a zone's not actually that hard, that everyone's just saying it's hard, and then you realise you've got more footage of a single zone than the rest of the game put together. In fact, I think I've got more footage of this zone than the entirety of the 8-bit Sonic 1. So, yeah, let's go with that. It introduces us to water physics, and the fact Sonic can't breathe underwater, except in one specific boss fight for whatever reason. So yeah. And let's do a bit of backtracking. Up we go. Why am I backtracking? Well, because of this platform. There is a trick to Labyrinth Zone, and the trick to Labyrinth Zone is skip as much of it as possible. Like doing this. That's the trick to Labyrinth Zone. Do as little as possible. Yep. So, Labyrinth Zone then. It's hard. Here you want to hold to the left, otherwise you go careening straight into some badniks. And that's no fun for anyone. This zone introduces us to 3 new badnik types, which are only really found in this level. The Orbonaut, Jaws, and Burrobot. Burrobot can be what the hell is that thing doing? Whatever. We're doing Act 1. The biggest pain in the arse, badnik-wise, is by far the Orbonaut. Which we weren't introduced in that act, but you'll see him in this one, at the very least. The Labyrinth Zone. What really makes this zone difficult, it's just getting used to the water physics. The zone's not that bad once you learn how to deal with all of its set pieces. And a lot of the zone's difficulty is somewhat neutered by the sheer fact you are invulnerable for most of the bloody level. Because this zone is home to the most invulnerability boxes of, I think, any stage ever. So that sort of neuters the difficulty quite a bit. It's still not an easy zone, not by a long shot, and let's wait for him to shoot. But there's so many invincibility boxes lying about, you just sort of skip most of what would have been difficult. Just here. Keep running. That round thing with things surrounding it, spiky balls surrounding it, that's an Orbonaut. Right, now that guy's popped. Definitely take an air bubble here, because we've now got to deal with an inconveniently placed Orbonaut, which we can't deal with via invincibility boxes. So here's how you deal with him. Duck. Let him throw all 4 of his spiky orbs, and then pop him. And then definitely take an air bubble, because, yeah. You don't need to take every air bubble that you come across, just certain ones. Jump as soon as you see a set of platforms, and we're done with Act 2. Why are these placed so far away from the end of zone signpost? Who knows? Again, I do think a lot of the difficulty of this level is somewhat muted by the fact you're just invincible for most of it. So, yeah, you just learn how to deal with everything this zone can throw at you. Way to miss time to jump there, Ace. There we go. That's better. And where possible, take the upper path. So here, for instance, here's one of the locations where you can take the lower path, which we won't be doing. Because lower path means dealing with more, well, everything really. Now, Act 3 is home to some fairly tricky jumps and situations, just dealing with spikes and everything whilst underwater. So you want to take air bubbles where you can. And here we've got this tricky bit. Right. This one's a bit tricky to dodge. As soon as the spike ball in the middle's left, well, gone underneath, that's generally when you can pass. Not always though, you still need to watch out for the one on the right. Pretty damn easy to mess up. But still, I would much rather deal with those spike balls than dealing with anything else the zone has to offer. Also, invincibility again. And down we go. And yet again, invincibility. Yeah. Invincibility does help a lot, doesn't it, really? You definitely want to take that air bubble there, because now we've got to deal with rotating orbs of doom and platform hopping whilst underwater, which basically amounts to a lot of waiting about, and it's actually very easy to drown there. And believe me, I've done it. In fact, I think every way possible you could die in this zone, I've now managed to do so whilst trying to record it. So, there's that. This zone has quite a few outtakes. The sheer length of the zone does not help matters either. Still, some serial burrobot hopping, and we're now close to the boss. I wish it got easier from here, but no, we now actually get introduced to a robotic machine that's actually a threat, in that it's not really a robotic machine so much as you dealing with more Labyrinth Zone, and Labyrinth Zone itself is a threat. This isn't really a boss fight so much as run away from water very fast. This is the chase. And we've got to follow Robotnik up a long vertical corridor filled with traps. If you can stay ahead of the water, do so. Not always possible though. In fact, you just want to sort of wait out some of these traps, really. I wouldn't worry too much. Aside from that one hairy jump there, we're done. we're done. Whew. Thank God. Now, it is actually possible to defeat Robotnik during that boss fight, but it's going to take you a few attempts. So yeah. Labyrinth Zone. We're done. And up we go. Where the hell are we going, you may ask? Well, to this little tiny platform. Because I want to do as little of this level as possible. Yep, that's very... Could I have bungled that jump anymore? I don't think I could. As I said, yeah, this level likes to keep you invulnerable for a long time. I suppose it's the zone's way of compensating for the sheer amount of traps, really. So yeah, if Supersonic had been in this game, this level would have been a breeze. Oh dear. Is it possible I may have mistimed this? It's entirely possible. We may be drowning. We may be drowning! Damn it! Damn it all the Hades. Should an air bubble. Always take air bubbles. Really, I don't think the Labyrinth Zone itself is as hard as... What? Oh good, it's a water level. Oh wait, no. Wrong reaction. Oh dear, it's a water level. We have reached the, Clumsy. How many times is that thing gonna hit me? There is an aspect of the level that I think does. But I don't think the zone is... The bloody hell? Sonic? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you glitching up your animation so badly? Oh dear. Bubble. And... Oh crap! Note to self, get the bubble before this bubble. Yeah. If you can keep ahead of the water, do so. However, don't risk it. Like that. That was stupid. Yes, folks, this is the Labyrinth Zone. Thanks for not spin dashing there, Sonic. You're a pal. Let's hit this path. I'd rather deal with spinning spike balls of death rather than water physics any day. This bit's a bit more difficult to actually time. Like now. That was wrong. That was wrong. Ace, what are you doing? You've done this enough times.
Really? Really? Ah! No! God damn it! Bloody bugger! Ugh! I wouldn't mind so much, but it takes about 10 minutes to get here. Ugh!
And down we go. Here, try and take out the badniks as you fall down. Where possible. And as soon as you've hit that switch, this time you jump. That works. This time that jump. Wow, I'm doing badly. Okay, let's reset that room because we want to take a shortcut. Go up, bugger it, I'm just restarting. We've got to deal with the Labyrinth Zone. The Labyrinth Zone is somewhat infamous for its sheer difficulty jump compared to previous levels. And that's due to one reason. Mistiming your jumps, for starters. Nope. We're just gonna pretend Act 1 isn't. The bloody hell just happened there? Correct me if I was wrong, but I was jumping. I was definitely jumping then. Okay, so how can we rate the Labyrinth Zone? By all accounts, this is possibly one of the hardest zones in the game, barring Scrap Brain. Nothing about this zone is easy, and thank God for all those invulnerability boxes, because otherwise this zone would have been a pain in the right arse to record. By the end of it, I did get the zone somewhat memorized, which led to a fairly smooth run at the end there. There was still a lot of outtakes, and so much can go wrong during the zone. Sometimes not always your fault. If the bubbles want to be dicks, you'll drown. It happens, it can happen. I mean, you got to remember what ones you've got to take under all circumstances. The traps are awkward to deal with, the water physics are awkward to deal with, and Brotherbot and Orbinaut are some particularly nasty badniks. Thankfully, you don't see much of Orbinaut in the zone, which is I'm thankful for, to be quite honest. On top of that, we've actually got a fairly difficult Robotnik machine. I think this is the first time in this game where I've handled outtakes against a boss, and there's a good reason for that. The boss is merely an extension of Labyrinth Zone, and it's a particularly nasty extension of Labyrinth Zone at that. So just surviving it is actually pretty tricky. So I'm going to give both Zone and boss fairly similar ratings, because they are basically the same thing. Now, at the start of the video, I did promise you something. I promised you a fight against Robotnik where I would defeat him. There's a good reason I didn't do this on the actual run, and you'll find out now. So, without further ado, here is how you defeat Robotnik in a Labyrinth Zone. Let's do something a bit on the insane side. Let's defeat Robotnik in the Labyrinth Zone without taking damage. What you've got here is quite possibly the hardest thing in the game, challenge-wise. And there we go. That time it counted. Okay, so why didn't I do that in my actual run of the level? There's a very good reason. Do you know how many attempts that took? It went into the triple digits. That is the hardest thing you can do in the game, bar none. It is one of the hardest Sonic challenges you can do, bar none. It's to defeat Robotnik in Labyrinth Zone. And to get it to count, you've got to get 2,000 points. 1,000 points when you reach the top, and 1,000 points when it's defeated. It's entirely possible to get him to explode and you not get awarded the points, in which case, the game doesn't count it. So, we're going to have a separate difficulty rating just for that. So, those numbers at the end there I wasn't making up. This is quite literally the hardest thing you could do in the game, and it's possibly one of the hardest things in the classic series to do. I'm struggling to think of anything that's actually harder to do in the classic series. I think quite possibly doing a no damage run against Egg Dragoon on the hard mode in Sonic Generations is possibly up there with this difficulty level. Defeating Robotnik in Labyrinth Zone, not under any circumstances recommended for your sanity. Your attempts will fail, they will fail quickly. So much can go wrong during the fight, it's unfunny. The trap timing is not consistent. Sonic doesn't always like to actually react the same way when he hits Robotnik, so it's entirely possible for him to just get stuck on a platform. It's happened to me several times. I ended up having just keep deleting footage of this fight, which is why I've not shown any outtakes. But there were a lot of them. We'd be here for quite some time if you saw every single outtake there was. Now, most of the outtakes are almost immediate failures because Sonic didn't quite react quite how he should when hitting Robotnik at the start. This was a pain in the arse to record. Big pain in the arse. So that's that boss. I think defeating the Labyrinth Zone boss fully deserves its 10 out of 10. So many attempts, so much can go wrong during an attempt. It's one of the hardest things you can do, in all fairness. It's to the point that probably prior to the internet being available and prior to save states being available, I'm going to assume most people, myself included, thought it was just impossible to do. I think I only found out when I was a kid that you could actually defeat Robotnik via debug mode. So, there's that. And I was like, well, there's no way of actually physically doing this. But yes, there is! If everything goes perfectly perfect, yes, you can defeat Robotnik. Now, unfortunately, I had to throw out, like, 2 successful runs against the boss because I hit him too late. If Robotnik passes the end of stage capsule, he no longer counts as a scoring object, which is kind of a fun fact, which I found out to my horror on several occasions, meaning I had to absolutely defeat Robotnik before he passed that mark, and that was tricky to get in. So it's done. Coming up next is 2 annotation links as usual. Top one will take you to the alternate paths, which there's only 2 of, because this is a very linear zone. And the bottom link will take you to the Starlight Zone, which should prove to be an easy zone to record, I bet. But I'm going to spend a lot of time actually getting the alternate path, because Starlight Zone is possibly the most expansive level in the game. Oh joys. So I'll see you then.